Hey everybody, Tony D and Little Joan here with your final hot take of the evening, and this one's called The Stylist. It's about a creepy girl who styles hair and kills people. Yes, so it's a horror movie. It's on something called Arrow, which I guess is some sort of TV network that shows movies. And I'm not too well versed in the whole salon world thing, but it reminds me a little bit of what the hell's the movie? Sweeney Todd, right? Only it's doesn't have the music, and it's it's more of a creepy film, more of a standard horror movie, serial killer kind of movie. I'm going to try not to show you the bloody parts, but basically, when you're at the stylist, you're at the mercy of them. You're closing your eyes, you put your head back, and she actually scalps that woman and then takes her hair. Yeah, it's messed up. So this has won some awards in the horror world, and she's obviously very disturbed, but she has a friend who's getting married, which I guess isn't helping her, and she's doing her friend's hair for the wedding, and she lives in this house in a creepy basement that's candle lit. Ooh, look how creepy. Um, but her friend is like so happy and getting married and doing girly things. They're having a bachelorette party, and she's saying all the right things, but there's something wrong with her. Something really wrong. Um, and she's killing people. She had blood on her shoe there, and she had to hide it. And she's stalking her friend in a weird way, and she's just a lonely person who is, she's like obsessed with other people in her own weird way, and she's just messed up. Um, so she ends up doing horrible things. It's called The Stylist, and again, I can't show you. I can't show you all the clips because they're pretty bloody. But streaming on Arrow, whatever that is, March 1st. Looks decent. I mean, it's I don't think I've ever heard, other than Sweeny Todd and the Barber of Seville, but those are musicals. This is straight up serial killer kind of movie, you know. So first act, it's gonna be Claire. She's normal. She's a stylist, but she's a little odd, right? She's a little odd, and the women who come into her shop, maybe they annoy her or piss her off in some way. And at the end of the first act, she maybe she fantasizes about killing them, but maybe she actually just kills one at the end of the first act, right? So now you realize, oh my God, what kind of movie am I watching here? Oh right, it was supposed to be a horror movie. Then Act Two is her friend's getting married, and she's having the same urges maybe to kill her, but she actually likes her, so she's sort of fighting those urges, is my guess. And she ends up killing other women who are kind of like her and taking their hair, I guess is her deal. But we also see insights into her disturbed nature, yada, yada, yada. And then in the third act, her world starts to unravel as they find out or start looking for the people she's murdered. And eventually they catch her or she gets killed or whatever. Usually it's not a good ending for the serial killer. So that's why these movies, they don't really appeal all that much to me. I don't find them all that scary because I kind of know who the killer is, right? It'd be scarier if I didn't know. If it was like a big salon and like, oh, one of those women are killing people, but I don't know which one. Maybe, but it's just a pretty standard gore fest, I would say. The body starts stacking up and she's disturbed. The least interesting part of the movie like this for me is seeing the character of the woman, because in order to kill people you have to be mentally disturbed, and crazy is a surefire way to get to boring, because it allows a screenwriter or filmmaker to do whatever they want with the character. They can do insane things, which has a certain amount of shock value and novelty to it, but ultimately it's not very clever because it can kind of go anywhere, right? So I think it's better if they're not crazy, if they have to kill people for some reason, can't think of. Oh, God, there was a movie. I want to say it was called something like Eat the Rich, something like that. But it was a movie about people who they were operating a fancy restaurant. It was a long time ago. Operating a fancy restaurant, and they were killing the patrons, the rich patrons, and serving them. Something like that. Yeah, I think it was called Eat the Rich. It still didn't quite work, but it was an amusing movie. These movies tend to be dreary because the life of a serial killer is very sad. Ultimately, I mean, they're just messed up. So there's not a lot of, mileage in that for me personally. I get bored of it very quickly. I was like, she's a pathetic mess who kills people. No one should trust her, and someone should lock her up. But if you're into that kind of horror, it doesn't feel, beyond the first scene where she kills somebody in the chair. It's probably not going to hold a lot of surprises for me, because I've seen killer slasher movies before, and they're kind of all the same. I mean, I do think that's a scary moment, though, being in the chair, because you're very vulnerable to the barber or hairstylist or whatever. You got your eyes closed, and you're just back, and they're doing stuff to your head. They can stab you right in the neck. You'd never be able to stop them. So, I mean, there is some fear there. So maybe if you milked it right, you can make this movie work. I'm not sure. I'm also not sure what Arrow is, but apparently it's streaming on there March 1st. So good luck with it. I think it's a good approach. It's not just your average slasher movie. Written by, looks like Bill Gravana and Eric Havens and Eric Stolze. Directed by Jill Gravarizian. Jill. It's Jill Gravarizian is the director and one of the writers as well. So, cool. I wish you luck with it. And that's it for tonight. For me and Joan, we'll see you at EvilCon at 8 o'clock.